We're gonna start on time today, boys. I like this. I like this whole starting on time thing. This shit's great.
Pop
it, baby, pop it. Suck it, baby, suck it. Do.
I don't know how people can be vegetarian.
Here we go, Cracker.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
With Fastlane in the books, the road to WrestleMania is officially on. WWE did its first of 4-week shows following the Fastlane pay-per-view to move things forward. How do we feel they did? Who is the new champion for Breaking Down the Ring as the Ring Crew champion? If you're watching the live stream on video, you might have an idea. But we'll get into all that, plus our fight with Pro Wrestling Scorecards for Mania, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and the G1 Supercard this week as we...
Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready? You just made the list! Oh, I knew he was going to do that. I just knew he was going to do that. He don't need Janetti. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. It's the man with the rock is cooking. Bulletproof for life, good bout, and good night. The answers, I change the questions.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
You are listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling podcast in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
The lone black soldier, Smith.
Who's going to go vegetarian? Nick?
And me, the Breaking Down the Ring Crew champion once again, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Shut up, you little female midget. That's the only person that booed was the female midgets. That's it. That's it. There you go again.
Mikey with the VDR championship is the equivalent of Vince McMahon with the ECW championship.
Oh, no, it's not.
Wow.
No, it's not. I deserve this. I worked my ass off for this. I am the reason that we're going for a third time against the boys and girl in pro wrestling scorecards, because I was the only one to constantly lose every fucking time. And I was like,
bitch.
I wanted fucking redemption. Now, we don't know who's taking who yet. I mean, I have an idea of two of them. That's because Daniel from Pro Wrestling Scorecards and I were talking about things, and we had to figure out who was, there was a tie over there, you know? And he was like, how do we figure this out? And I was like, well, just do averages right here, you know? So where if they're averaging the same spot, you know, then we'll figure something else out. And what?
Don't when we have a tie, like, we go based off who was better last one.
But see, that's the thing that you got to remember. Like, so this one, there was 2 scorecards to use to see who would go into it. So, I will say that I know Smitty's opponent and I know my opponent, but we're not going to break that down just yet. We're going to talk a little bit about that later.
Who do I get to beat this time?
What do you mean?
Say, who do I
Oh, you mean? Oh, you want to know. You want to know. Oh, so all right. So Dez is already spilling beans on the fucking the Periscope. So if you guys check it out, look. If you guys are listening live, you can also go to Twitter and Periscope. If you will follow us at BDRcast, you can watch the show live. You can see me with this title on my shoulder, and you can comment as things are going. And we can have a whole bunch of fucking fun and everything like that. 1Z will be showing up later. But before we get into these spoilers of who's facing who, let's point out what we're doing for WrestleMania. 4 weeks, right? April 7th, obviously, we're going to be at the Buffalo Wild Wings in downtown Detroit. 1218 Randolph Street, downtown Detroit. Parking is free if you find a meter spot. It's all free on the streets on Sundays. So you come, won't have to pay for parking, no cover, family friendly. Come in, watch WrestleMania with us. If you were there last year, or if you heard or saw the photos and everything, great giveaways, huge prizes and things like that. We had a lot of help from people at Detroit Respect, some of the Jaeger promotion people, things like that. We're also reaching out to them again this year and get some great giveaways, plus beer reps and things like that. So definitely come down April 7th. We're showing the kickoff show. We're also showing the full pay-per-view. We're there until the show is done. So if that show does a Royal Rumble and goes to midnight, we're at Buffalo Wild Wings until midnight. Let's hope it's an 11 o'clock night because goddamn.
You full of shit. You think it's going to be that? This is WrestleMania.
But it's okay. Look, I'm hoping. Can I hope? So yes.
And I'm hoping to see something else.
Come down and watch WrestleMania with us. Buffalo Wild Wings, downtown Detroit, Michigan, 1218 Randolph Street, and come down, have a blast with us. Again, no cover. If you find a meter spot on the street, no charge for parking or anything like that, and tons of giveaways, man. B-Dubs is doing some specials for us. We're going to get more into that as the weeks come on. We'll be posting that stuff into the group, into the event on the Facebook group. So make sure you're following us at BDRcast, facebook.com/BDRcast. Check out our events section, and the first one is WrestleMania at Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, talking about WrestleMania. All right. First off, we got Eddie Kingston calling in from Evolve Wrestling. He's calling in about 10 minutes at 9:30 p.m. He's going to be talking about Evolve 123 and 124 going on this weekend. Evolve 123 is March 15th, Friday, in Melrose, Massachusetts, at the Melrose Memorial Hall, 590 Main Street, Melrose, Massachusetts, 02176. And Evolve 124 is going on in Queens, New York, at La Boom, 5615 Northern Boulevard, Woodside, New York, 11377. You guys can get all of the tickets for those, because they still have tickets available at etix.com, or you can call 1-800-514-3849. That's etix.com, etix.com, or 1-800-514-3849. Eddie Kingston's got some good matches going on there, man. Him and his crew, The Unwanted, two of those guys are going to take on the Street Profits at 123. And then at 124, he's involved in a 6-man tag match, dude. Velveteen Dream and the Street Profits versus Eddie Kingston, Shane Strickland, and Joe Gacy.
Nice.
Yeah, he's main eventing these shows, man. So I'm really excited to talk to him. Dude's been in the business for 17 years, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, 17 years. He's done things in ROH, Shakara. He's been in AIW. It's crazy, dude. Impact Wrestling. He was a part of LAX for a minute. He was the one that turned on Conan at the end of it. Yeah, so you know we're
I actually do. I've been watching Impact for like the last 3 years now.
Yeah, so a lot of cool stuff. I can't wait to talk to him. Legend in the business. I was watching some old matches of his, man. He took on Dean Ambrose when he was John Moxley. You know, he took on Samoa Joe. There was a time he took on Drew Gulak, things like that. So it's really cool. Really cool. Really excited to talk to him. And yes, so we're taking on the Pro Wrestling Scorecards kids again at can someone go let Z in? You're both moving. That's weird. So we're taking on the Pro Wrestling Scorecards kids again for WrestleMania. But the cool thing is this is the first time that they're doing a full event card that, okay, not the first. It's the second, because the first one they did was All In. Now they're doing the entire G1 Supercard, the Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling situation at Madison Square Garden. That's what they are doing. So we're going TakeOver, G1, and WrestleMania. We're doing all of that to see who is truly the top dog again. And Des, it's okay that you gave away some of the things. It's fine. We still love you. But we're going to get into that and more. So I will say that the one that she gave away, so I'll give it away, is Nick versus Dez again.
The rematch.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, Ike Turner.
It's like if the Browns
Say what?
It's like if the Browns and the Lions go to the Super Bowl.
It's not going to happen.
I know.
Yeah, it is. Did you buy that hat at NXT?
Yes.
Nice. My kid bought the same hat. So before we go on to talk to Eddie Kingston, who's calling in about 5 minutes.
Kofi's little brother, right?
No. We are going. I want to talk to you guys. You guys weren't Z, Nick. You guys weren't here last week. We were at NXT Detroit the Sunday before last week's show. Nick, that was your first time at an NXT event, right?
Yes, sir.
Was it your first time at anything that small scale?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you think, brother?
I honestly, I was a little kid again. Like, being that close was fucking awesome. I'd never been. Let's see, SummerSlam '93. My stepdad got tickets 7th row, and that was cool then. But to be right there, even with a small show, it's fucking awesome. Really cool. Cool experience. They put on a great show. Mm-hmm. They really did.
What stuck out the most to you?
Wow.
I know.
It's tough.
Hard-hitting questions here on Breaking Down the Ring.
I just feel, the crowd was really into it. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed seeing what happened at the end with everybody coming out, and you had Ricochet and Aleister Black and everybody just beating down Undisputed Era, and that was pretty cool to see, and their kind of farewell type deal. And I think what was really cool is the way your kid got involved. You know what I mean? That's, like you had said on Facebook, that right there that's on some level, that's her WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
That's, like you said, getting her into it even more, and that probably changed her whole outlook on it. And that's something that's really cool that you were able to share with her. So that was cool. That was really cool.
Z, what about you now? Last time we went was literally a year to the day that we went again. You were supposed to go to the next one that come. You couldn't make it, unfortunately. Yep. The first time that we went, we had our seats literally right around that corner, still first row, but more to the right side of the ring if you're coming from the entrance. So this time you're obviously right by the entrance ramp and everything like that. What was it for you and Allie? How did she feel? How did she like it?
Allie's now a fan of NXT.
Nice.
She likes it better than the main. Obviously I've been telling her this for months that it's better, and she's like, "No, I finally understand why it's better."
If you had watched it, you would have known.
Yeah.
Goddamn right you would.
Nick hit the nail right on the head. When you're that close, no matter if you're a wrestling fan or not, when you're sitting that close and you feel like you're part of the action, it's hard not to get into it. Like,
Yep.
The only thing I wasn't a fan of is where we were sitting every time someone would, talk, or even like at the very end when they took that picture, all their backs were to us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, the only better seat in the house would have been where Mikey was sitting. Fucking prick. No, but it was cool because, Dasha Fuentes walked by. Me and her had a 3-minute conversation, and not even just two normal people talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was cool. The way Dream was interacting with everybody after the match, especially Michaela.
Yeah.
Like, I always prefer live events over anything that's on TV, more for the flow of the show, but also they can do things that they can't normally do when the cameras are on.
Yeah.
Like, one thing that stood out for me, and it was a pretty funny moment, is when Ricochet and Aleister Black faced the Forgotten Sons in the very first match, and Ricochet was talking shit to Buddy Murphy's old partner. I don't know.
Wesley Blake.
Yeah, Wesley
About
Blake.
not having tattoos.
Doesn't have any tattoos. Look at this fucking guy. No tattoos. Like, and it was just funny, and you wouldn't see that on live TV. So
Not at all.
Yeah. So great experience. Always is. Always. And the thing about the Royal Oak Music Theater is we did have really good seats, but there's really not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah, you could be in the balcony and still be you're still close.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're still you're up high, but you're about 25 rows back.
Yeah. I also found it funny that for those of you that don't know, Mikey brought his daughter, and at the end she was rooting for the Undisputed Era simply because Roddy Strong walked by and just, simply gave her his dog tag. So now she's probably his fan for life.
Yeah.
And even Dream was like, come on, you can't root for the bad guy.
He was like, you're too pretty to boo for the good guys.
And Kayla was basically like, yeah, fuck you guys. You didn't give me any merch.
Right. Where's your fucking headband, guy? Let me get that. Let me touch the belt.
Yep. Oh, and even after the show, the interaction with what was it, Drake Wentz?
Okay, man. This is Eddie Kingston calling it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, live via cell phone, the one, the only, Eddie Kingston. Eddie, sir, how are you today?
I'm good, man. What's going on? What's popping?
Nothing much, man. Thanks so much for calling in to Breaking Down the Ring. We really appreciate it. I've been doing some research on you, man. Obviously, the minute you hear that a huge name on the circuit is calling in, you definitely want to do your due diligence and your homework. Man, 17 years, huh? You've been in the game.
Yeah, 17 long, hard years, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world, though. I wouldn't trade it at all.
That's good. So can I ask you, AR Fox called in a couple weeks ago, and I started off...
That's a trap guard right there. That's a trap guard.
We started off asking him the exact same thing I want to ask you, and that is, in your entire career, what is one moment that stands out to you as something that is just like, this is one of the highlights of my career, or the highlight of it?
Nah, man, I got to give, two moments. One was my match at High Noon with Mike Quackenbush, my trainer, at Chikara. You know what I mean? And then me debuting for Evolve. You know,
nice.
Beating up people.
Yeah, I mean, Evolve is definitely making waves, doing things that nothing else on the, I guess you could say, the indie circuits is doing. Their own network where you can watch all of the live events every time that there's something on, like Evolve 123, Evolve 124, which is also a double show with Shine 57 going on that day. You guys go to Club WWN or WWNlive.com, go to the Club WWN, $9.99 a month, get your own seat for it. So even if you can't be in Massachusetts or New York, you can watch Eddie Kingston run some of these main events, man. 123.
Yeah, you don't want to be in Massachusetts anyway, man. I'm a New Yorker. I can't like Massachusetts.
Oh, that explains why they're throwing you.
They can boo me and hate me all I want, but I hate the Red Sox. I hate the Patriots. I hate the Celtics. You know what I mean? I don't even like hockey. I hate the Bruins.
I'll be back at the end of this interview.
Z, who is on the show with us, is a huge Red Sox fan. So,
in other words, you just shoved like a 6-inch dildo in his ass when he said that.
What's crazy is we're Detroit, so obviously being in Detroit, we're huge Tigers fans and things like the Lions and things. And Z just somehow he's like always a little Red Sox fan, and we kind of make fun for it too. So go for it. You can make fun of them all you want as well.
No, nah, man, I'll let them live. They won. You know what I mean? They won. How many championships they got now?
All the championships.
No,
right?
serious question. How many championships the Red Sox got now?
Total or just in the past decade?
Total.
I believe it's like 12. Because they ran the table in the 1900s and then didn't win again for another 100 years. So they got 5 in the past 13.
That's nice. 12's good. 12's a good, respectable number.
What's
a
great number?
But
Yeah, right. I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
I'm just saying. I'm just speaking facts here.
So at Evolve 123, man, you guys are taking on the NXT's Street Profits, who are the current Evolve tag team champions, and it's a stipulation hasn't even been determined yet, man. Are you looking forward for a specific stipulation to go on? Are you hoping to be in the match? Because there's like.
You never know, man. You never know. I got my crew. You know what I mean. I got the Unwanted with me, Gacy, Kobe, and Swerve, my man Strickland. You know what I mean. It could be any of us. Also, stipulation, man. I don't care. What can they come up with that's actually going to put fear in us? Honestly. What? If you look at my career, Shane's career, Gacy's career, even Kobe's career, really, what are they going to throw at us? You know what I mean? Like, I know the Sesame Street Profits ain't ready for what we've been through out here. You know what I mean? And like I say that to get underneath their skin, but let's keep it thorough, man. Let's get it real clear. Let's make it claro. They're a good team, man. They're good. Those boys can go, but they're just not better. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, oh, what's your beef with them? And I got two beefs with them. Not even just me, but my crew do. And it's real easy, real simple. One, they got the Evolve Tag Team titles, right? If you're going to go into a promotion, especially as a group, when you get a group together, you want the gold. You want tag titles, you want individual titles. So they got the tag titles, so they're in the way. That's one. Two, some people may say this is me just being bitter or whatever, and they're right. Take it for what it is. Yeah, I am bitter. I am angry about wrestling. These dudes have been chosen. They were chosen by WWE. Yeah, I mean, they didn't travel miles upon miles like I did, or like Shane did, or Gacy or Kobe did. These dudes were chosen. These dudes don't know about going to an indie show where a promoter promises you drive miles, promoter promises you to pay you, then he sits there and goes, oh man, I can't pay you. And then tries to hit you with some lame excuse like, well, I guess if you force him to pay you, he's like, oh, I guess my kid's not going to have Christmas. And you got to sit there and be like, what? Or you get the I owe you next time kid thing, or you get a hot dog and a handshake, or a hot dog and a Mountain Dew. And then you get back in the car and drive, and you keep doing this because it's your passion. These dudes were chosen. These dudes get off planes in their little jumpsuits, all of them, all those dudes. Not just the Street Profits, but all those dudes get off a plane, get on their little jumpsuits, get on a tour bus, and travel, 3 hours, 4 hours? When dudes like the unwanted, like me, Gacy, and Carino, and Strickland, we had to drive hours upon hours upon hours. You know what I mean? Paying our dudes doing it the right way. You know what I mean? The right way and the strong way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and they got, you know what they have that's more important? More important than anything, they got two spots that we deserve, that they don't deserve, that we're going to take. Because for years, well, me personally, knocked on the door. You know what I mean, of the industry. I knocked on the door of the industry real nicely, like, hey, let me in, please let me in. You know what I mean? I busted my ass again. Hey, I've been going to the gym, I've been eating, like, let me in, let me in. Hey, please let me in. Now it's like, no more. I got the crowbar, I'm about to pop the door open. And now I got soldiers with me, the unwanted soldiers with me, so I'm coming in strong. I'm coming in deep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then not only that, not only are you taking them on at 123.
That's just one.
Yeah. You also get them at 124 because then they're teaming up with Velveteen Dream. Yeah.
A real state.
Yes.
A real state.
Yep. North American champion of NXT, Velveteen Dream, is teaming with the Evolve Tag Team champion, Street Profits, versus you, Shane Strickland, and Gacy. So,
yeah,
what do you...
move the Velveteen, man.
Yeah.
He better call whoever's in charge of the.
Gotta break it up on us here.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me? Let me say it again.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess you missed it.
Yes, sir.
This dude, Velveteen Dream, I don't know him from a hole in the wall. But that dude better call whoever he has to call to get out of this match. Just like his homeboy Ricochet did.
No.
By the way, Ricochet will be there to sign autographs.
Right. Both shows, right? Before
both shows,
yeah.
Both shows. So there you go. There's your plug. WWN Live. Ricochet's also there signing pictures.
I love talking to you. This is amazing.
You can call in every week.
Yeah.
Great.
So I want to let's talk about a little bit about your
my truth, man. I'm just speaking my truth. That's it. You know what I mean? People don't have to like what I'm saying, but the few people that are unwanted, the few who feel the way we feel, hear me and understand my words and feel me, come join with me, man.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Stand with the stray dogs, you know?
Yes.
If you don't feel me, if you don't like me, man, walk on by. Keep it moving. That's it.
So let's talk a little bit about your career, man. One of the major highlights for your career, at like you were talking about at Chikara High Noon, you were crowned the first ever Chikara Grand Champion, and not only that, you held the belt for over 900 days. I think 924, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, man. I don't count that day stuff. That day. that day when they started doing that for CM Punk, then everybody wanted to start counting days, man. I was his champion for a minute. How about that? We just say that. We don't count days here.
So what was your you defended it against a lot of people too, man. Kevin Steen, Hollow Wicked, Icarus, Brody Lee, who is now Luke Harper in the WWE. You've seen these names run through, so I can understand your frustration 100% when you're talking about these people are given spots, and you're sick of people giving spots when all you're doing has been busting your ass for 17 years. So I fully understand.
Oh, no, yeah, man, and you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I like being the miserable workhorse, man. I like that. I like being independent. I like being the outlaw, man. I get off on that when people see me in the locker room and get a little bit nervous. Fear is a great motivator, and also fear is a great paralyzer if you want to, get a little deep about it. I like it. You know what I mean? I like being feared, man. I'd rather be feared than loved. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'd rather have that than anything. I don't need love, man. My mother loves me. That's all I need. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100.
Can't even argue that.
That's a good take.
You know, I mean, look, man, when you're moving through and everything, as long as you know that you have your backup right there, and it's your family and it's people that believe in you, you can push forward with nothing, no matter what anybody says about you. So
no doubt, man. And I got no disrespect towards Steen or Owens, whatever his name is now, or Luke Harper, whoever. Like those two dudes, I kind of like, and kind of like, and someone's big for me. You know what I mean? If you ain't part of the crew, if you ain't part of the clique, if you ain't part of the Outlaw or the OG 730 crew, I don't know you. I don't respect you.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else that you have coming up towards the end of this month in Belleville, Illinois. Aces High Sunday, March 31st. You're taking on a guy who we interviewed here on Breaking Down the Ring, the one and only Hakeem Zayn. He was actually our first guest that we ever had on. What are your thoughts on this match going in, especially against a guy who is also, worked just as hard as you and is now starting to reach the national level himself?
No doubt he is reaching the national level, and now he messed up by getting in the ring with me. You see what I'm saying? These dudes, like, just because they hear a little bit of TV that they're tough. You know what I mean? Before I even got a contract, I was punching people in the face just for living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fought outside in the street. Like, I didn't fight playing video games. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So these dudes, they're tough now because they're getting on a little bit of TV and buzz, and they're believing what people are hyping them up. I like, go ahead, man, get hyped. Think you can fight, dog? That's fine. I'll gouge your eye. I'll bite you. We'll get it on, man. That's fighting. No disrespect to the MMA dudes that are in pro wrestling, man, but I'm a different breed, man. I'm a different type of savage. You may be going for a triangle choke, and I'm biting your thigh, trying to rip skin off, trying to get to the bone.
Right.
Because I'm a survivor, man. I fight. That's what it is. Look, man, I train in MMA, and that shit is rough. But when it comes to fighting, come on, man. There ain't no rules out here. Come on, man.
But like Craig, pick up a brick and knock your ass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? That's why I love pro wrestling. I can legally beat the crap out of somebody. Think about that.
True story.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't. The one thing that you can say, no matter what, when you're listening to Eddie Kingston talk, is no matter what he says, it's the truth. It's based in fact.
You know what, my man? This is the way I put it to people, man. It's my truth. You don't have to like it, but it's my truth.
Right.
Just like I tell people, it's my life. I do things my way. If I chose to do the easy way, I chose to do the easy way. If I chose to do the hard way, I chose to do the hard way. That's my choice. Everything that's good that's happened to me is because of me. Everything that's bad that's happened to me is because of me. At the end of the day, though, I can look at myself in the mirror and say, you did it to yourself, good or bad. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been handpicked for nothing. Evolve didn't want me there. Trust me, they didn't want me there, but they needed me there. They didn't want Shane Strickland there, but they need him. They didn't want Kobe. They need Kobe. They need Gacy. They need bodies, man, to teach these young cats and these wannabe industry dudes like J.D. Drake what's up.
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes don't like being independent, man. A lot of these dudes don't like living that outlaw life, man. Those were my heroes growing up, the outlaws either out in the street or in pro wrestling. All these other dudes want to conform. Go ahead, man. You play wrestling. I'm a fighter. There's a difference. You don't play fight.
There's a reason that the faction's called the Unwanted, you know, because you.
Yeah, and that's the major reason, man. We all got together, and it was just like, yo, if they don't want us, why not stick together then? There is strength in numbers, man.
Now, I want to ask.
I learned that right away.
I want to ask you one question, something that you put it out on Twitter earlier this year. You said that this might be your final year in wrestling unless something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Why are you thinking about it? Might in the ring, and we're just talking in ring. We're not, because there's very much possibility you can go do something somewhere else for an organization.
Nah, man. If I'm out, I'm out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it, man. I don't have fast shit. If I'm out, I'm out.
So what has brought you to this decision?
I ain't gonna be backstage anything because I can't, because I'll be angry and bitter and I'll be the worst guy at my job.
So why are you deciding that this is your last year unless something crazy happens?
Nah, man, I'm just you know what I mean. It's the major reason why I'm jumping all these PC guys and I'm joining up with certain people, man. I'm just tired, dog. It's either I get my way or someone's gonna get hurt. So instead of me hurting somebody and going to jail, I might as well just walk away. Because my mother's still alive, and I don't want her to see me in a jail cell. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
But until then, I'm going to take out my aggression on people because it's fun. Somebody got to feel my pain because I'm tired of feeling it.
100%. 100.
That's why they don't like me sparring anymore for Muay Thai. They don't like it because when I get going, they're like, come on. He said 60%, you going like 90-something. I go, oh, my bad. Someone got to feel this. Somebody got it, man. It ain't physical, man. It's emotional and mental pain, man. I speak for that. No one else speaks for that because everyone else for them is a gimmick. This ain't a gimmick, man. I wake up every morning, pop a pill of Zoloft to make sure I don't kill nobody. This ain't a gimmick. This is not fake. People take it for what it is, man.
His truth. That's exactly what it is.
At the end of the day, though, I keep it 100, man. I keep it thorough, man. This is why certain people gravitate to me. That's why the underdogs and the stray dogs gravitate to me. I don't need the popular people, man. I don't need people with a lot of money, because when I see people with a lot of money, the first thing that runs, I may not do it, but the first thing that runs in my head is, oh, I can stick him up quick.
Yep.
That's just a sickness, man. That's a sickness. I'm an old man. I can't be doing that all the time. But when I see a dude balling out, flossing, I say, alert. I can get this dude when he going to the bathroom. Run his chain, run his watch. Give me your money out of your pocket. If he got nice sneakers, man, I'll take his sneakers too if the size is right. This is real life. This ain't a gimmick.
Yes, sir. So again,
it's like the Red Sox suck no matter what. in my eyes, forever, man. They can win again this year, and I'll still sit there at the end of the night and go, they suck.
And again,
I'm stubborn. I'm mad stubborn, man. I'm your typical Yankee fan. Nah, they suck.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think they suck as well. They keep taking.
And I'm your typical New York Giant fan too. I'll sit there all day and tell you my man Eli got 2 Super Bowl rings over Tom.
Oh.
I'll bring that up until they win again. That's all I'm saying. You heard me, Massachusetts. Bring it.
In Massachusetts, you can bring it at Evolve 123 this Friday, March 15th.
That's right, you heard him. 123, baby.
Bell time, 8 p.m., Melrose Memorial Hall, 590 Main Street, Melrose, Massachusetts. You get your tickets at etix.com. That's etix.com. Or you can call 1-800-514-3849. And then you can see Eddie Kingston in his home state of New York the next night, March 16th.
Queens, baby, Queens, what up?
La Boom, 5615 Northern Boulevard, Queens, New York. Again, etix.com, or you can call 1-800-514-3849 and get your tickets for these Evolve shows because you want to be there to see Eddie Kingston.
Is, all these Massachusetts people are showing up. Yo, my New Yorkers better show up at La Boom, man. Keep going with the WWE club thing, man. You do it better than me. Go ahead, man. I can't plug that. I don't know how to do that.
And again, if you are not going to be able to make it into these areas because you got other stuff going on, you can definitely check out Club WWN. Go to WWNlive.com. That Club WWN. Sign up. It's only $9.99 a month. What else are you doing with $10? Oh, you're going to watch Eddie Kingston beat the hell out of the Street Profits. the Sesame Street Prophets, as he
Hashtag
calls
Sesame
them.
Street
There you go.
Prophets.
Yes,
There you
sir.
go, Bert and Ernie, man. They tough, but they still Bert and Ernie to me. You know what I mean?
Eddie, man, thank you
Niggas
so
still
much.
look like Bert and Ernie.
Appreciate
no
you.
doubt. Also, hey,
Yo.
stay tuned to the WWN Live or Evolve YouTube, man. I'm getting ready, man. I got some words to say before this weekend, man. Hopefully they put it up and they don't get too nervous about putting it up. You know what I mean? I'm trying to draw money, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You guys can go to YouTube and you can search the Evolve Wrestling. You can search WWN Live, and it'll take you to all those YouTube pages, and you can hear Eddie Kingston speak his truth about the Sesame Street Prophets and what he's going to do to them this weekend at Evolve 123 and 124. Eddie, thank you so much for calling in, brother. Definitely appreciate it.
Thanks, Eddie.
No, no doubt, man. No doubt. Peace.
Bye.
That's a real nigga right there.
I knew Smitty was gonna say that. I knew it.
I didn't want to interrupt him while he's on the phone.
All right, look, you know, there's many times where you watch promos wherever you watching your wrestling. If you're watching an ROH, if you're watching New Japan, if you're watching WWE, if you're watching soon to be all elite wrestling, there's heart, there's truth, there's emotion that you can feel, passion
There's
in
them in
promo.
there.
And what Eddie Kingston was saying right there, every one of those boxes were checked off.
That was him. It wasn't.
Like you said, it's
Character.
his truth. It's how he keeps it 100 the whole time, and as he should. That being said, now we've talked Evolve 123, 124 coming up this weekend, and again, ladies and gentlemen, WWNLive.com. Get yourself a Club WWN membership if you're not going to be in Massachusetts or New York for St. Patrick's Day weekend. Because if you're not, you can watch it live on the WWN network, or get yourself some etix.com, etix.com, or 1-800-514-3849. Now, let's get into what was really shit on as a pay-per-view at the time of it, at the end of it, because a lot of people were feeling a lot of emotions.
I didn't understand it either.
A lot of emotions that were going on through the pay-per-view. You know, a lot of people, and what really got me was all of the WWE's racist thing. Like, it's like, that's like something that people just have to hang on to. And it was pissing me off because I'm looking at it going, no, they are giving this to Kofi. Smitty, when Fastlane was going on, were you in the ilk of, fuck WWE, they racist?
You know, well, listen. To a certain degree, because of the history of the company, because this is hot. Like, this is one of those hot takes. I don't think The Rock would have been where he was if he did not have his Samoan heritage.
Okay.
So, just with the history, the 50-plus year history of this company, you have never seen a really significant push for an African American in this company. So,
Lashley, when he first came in, granted he didn't win like the WWE title.
you gave him the United States title when it meant jack and shit.
ECW championship.
In the ECW championship, people shitted on his reign. Of the ECW
I'm
championship
just
'cause
saying he
at the
had
time
when he initially entered the company, they gave him a nice little push. I mean, they didn't push him to the moon like they do other people. But
it was WW ECW. It was not ECW was not ECW.
I
It was
understand.
WW ECW, which was
But
it was a third-rate knockoff.
My point here is, again, they didn't push him to the moon, but they gave him a nice little push.
You gave him something that was lower mid card.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Smitty. Did Samoa Joe get a shitty push in NXT?
No,
Okay. You respected NXT more than you respected ECW? Because when ECW started,
I can't say that.
again, right? ECW was kind of WWE ECW, then eventually just became the third brand. That's what they were doing with it, and it just wasn't being put over. But the people who had the championships in ECW, the ECW title, were people like either past guys that were being sent down to have a little refresher, or guys that they were trying to elevate through the titles there, and then eventually put over on the main card. Granted, Lashley did not need it and left and started running through MMA and all these other wrestling organizations. But so him having that ECW championship at the time is kind of like being the NXT champion now.
I wouldn't say that because did anybody really care about the WWE ECW
I mean, I paid
Did
it.
anybody
outside of Punk?
Okay. Did anybody care about the NXT product when Seth Rollins was the first champion?
That's when NXT started gaining traction at first.
But again, did anybody care at the time? That's what you're talking about. If you're trying to make the argument that no one cared about it at the time, so it doesn't have a real staple into building somebody, well then neither did Seth Rollins at first.
You got two different entities there. ECW is an established product before WWE did anything with it.
I'm gonna argue that.
NXT before Triple H took over it and Seth Rollins became that champion, that was a fucking joke too. Because that was when they had the bullshit. It was a bullshit game show elimination type crap where you had rookies versus pros. It was the only good thing that came out of that whole thing was the Nexus.
Early NXT was less than
The ECW was.
So ECW is more important and still less. This is what you're saying. This is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying trying to compare what NXT was when Seth Rollins became champion and what ECW was by the time Bobby Lashley was champion are two completely different things.
But they still are the third brand for WWE, or as anyone else would look at, the minor leagues. I'm not arguing what they did with ECW. I'm not trying to argue that. I'm not trying to say it was great. I'm not trying to say it was the best product in the world. I'm saying for WWE's eyes, because your argument is WWE was not trying to push any African American to that extent, right? WCW had them with Ron Simmons and with Booker T and things like that, but it doesn't matter that Booker T also held it in WWE and Mark Henry held it that world championship, because that's not what anyone's talking about. Everyone's always talking about the WWE title specifically, the big dog title. So that being said, and I'll stay away from that argument, but the argument that you're trying to make is ECW is still more relevant than NXT was when NXT first started. So if that's the case and they were trying to get a push before the guy left, then you have to say they were trying to push Bobby Lashley just in a slow roll. The problem is Lashley didn't want to wait the time out.
Was it before he left? I thought it was. I mean, okay, so when Lashley first entered the company, that was kind of like when I was tuning out of wrestling.
The first time they put on him was the United States Championship.
Well, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, as my memory serves, he became the ECW champion, and then he came back to Raw or SmackDown through a draft or a shakeup or whatever they were doing at the time, and it was supposed to be him versus Lesnar, but then Lesnar left the company, and then shortly thereafter Lashley left the company.
Yeah.
So he wasn't leaving when they gave him the title, but I mean, he did, however, leave within the next year or year and a half, I believe. I don't know what the timeline exactly was. So again,
Lesnar left in 2004.
Catch up.
So Lesnar left in 2004. Well, last year, I think the first time he left was 2006 or something like that.
2006 or 7, because then he went to TNA.
Oh no, it was after. It was 2008 because WrestleMania 2007 was WrestleMania here.
Okay, so he had a nice.
He left in 2008.
Yeah, so he left 4 years after Lesnar.
Yeah. Either way, he still left. But that's what I'm saying. Is there have been times where they've tried and then somebody just left like that, and then there's other times where I guess that's my argument for that is, and I don't really want to get into that, but it's who?
And they could have pushed Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson had that build that Vince McMahon loved.
Ahmed Johnson repeatedly shot himself in the foot. Vince wanted to push him. Vince gave him every from what I've read. Obviously I don't know the guy personally, so I can't speak for him. But from all the articles I've read, Vince gave him every opportunity in the world, and he just kept shooting himself in the foot.
It's like Ron Simmons, another guy they could have pushed to the moon. The fact that he wasn't a WCW guy.
That's the one that irks me the most, that they didn't push him the way they did, but they did use him well in his role. He is a Hall of Famer. That he was on TV. He was like a top tier mid carder. In WWE, but you also got to remember, by the time he got to WWE, he was on the backslide of his career.
Yeah, in WWE, when he came into WWE, that was the time when you had Michaels running the gauntlet up at the top. It's
and they brought him in as that cartoonish fucking
RoboCop
fucking
when he attacked.
And then, but then at the same time, when he was really starting to get over, was when the Nation of Domination, and then The Rock just overshadowed it.
Yep. And there was nothing they could do about
And
it
at
because The
that
Rock
time-
was just money.
And at that time, sir, The Rock was considered more black than Samoan because that's where he got over, was in the nation.
Yeah.
And then even with the APA, one of the most over tag teams of all time, and it wasn't because of JBL, it was because of Ron Simmons.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, back
the
then-
two of them together made up the tag team, but
it was
Ron
awesome.
just killed it.
Look, I'm not saying that the WWE hasn't missed opportunities, right? I'm not saying that because they definitely have. But at the same time, it's not just with black wrestlers they've missed opportunities with. You know, like they're kind of fucking themselves in the ass right now with something that that 3 months ago was white fucking hot. That is now a lighter flame.
A sizzle.
You know, a lighter flame in my eyes. You know, while something else is blowing up on the other brand. You know, and we're gonna get into all that and stuff. So anyway, Fastlane, so you weren't a part of the whole it was you're finding it racist and stuff.
No, I didn't find it racist. Like, but I wouldn't be surprised. My whole point is, I wouldn't be surprised with anything. I wasn't surprised with anything that would happen with Kofi in A New Day. I figured if they're going to give him his moment, they're going to give him his moment. If they don't, oh well. We've been there, seen this song, did this dance.
I don't think it's WWE being racist because obviously they're giving Kofi the push. McMahon is doing a great job of playing the character Mr. McMahon and basically just chopping out Kofi's legs every chance he gets. And I mean, and you can't even say it's a racist thing because he did it with Daniel Bryan, he did it with others. What I do find funny is every time they come out or Vince comes out and does something to Kofi, I'm like, damn, they really are doing the whole Vince hates black people storyline.
It's just convenient.
But I don't think the company as a whole is being racist because clearly they're pushing him. Like, I mean, that's why Kofi is the main event spot right now. I mean, and if you can't see that,
He's the most over thing
you're
guy
an
on the
idiot
entire
because
roster.
he's getting the most attention. He's been the last segment. They put him in gauntlet match and chamber match. I mean, he is so over, and I think they're doing it properly.
And I think another reason that Kofi's where he is right now is Kofi was originally a replacement. That's another reason I think they're kind of shotgunning his storyline, and that's because, like I said, Kofi's was originally replaced with Mustafa Ali in the beginning, and he's got over in the process.
Yeah. And it's just like when CM Punk was white hot or Daniel Bryan was white hot, they're like, well, this was our plan, but these guys are really hot, so what the fuck do we do?
Right. And yeah, I get it. And sometimes you have to bend to the will. And that was one of the main problems that a lot of people have had with WWE is there would be something that was happening right in front of their face and they weren't doing anything with it. And they were just letting it go away. And people were like, that's not what we want. We want to see this. We want everything to manifest this organically. We want to cheer for who we want to cheer with, boo for who we want to boo. And you're forcing us to cheer for someone we don't want to cheer for. And you're forcing us to boo for someone we don't want to boo for.
Braun Strowman, i.e.
Yeah.
Great example.
So at Fastlane, there were a lot of things that happened, and I'm actually going to have Sir Daniel from Pro Wrestling Scorecards call in, and we're going to talk a little bit about this with him as well. But let's go over what happened. So there was Fastlane was the pay-per-view of okay, rewrite. That, as from an audience standpoint, I get for the crowd. Takes people out. There's a lot of things they're expecting to happen that don't happen. But there's also some things that were happening that the crowd was much more happier that happened. And welcome to the show, Daniel from Pro Wrestling Scorecards. Daniel, how are you, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
Living La Vida without the Loca. You know, that's how we do it here. We're talking about Fastlane and all of the switches, the flips, the flops, things that happened on the fly there. How much fun were you having scoring this pay-per-view live?
Oh, tons of fun. They just love to fuck with me, I feel like.
I saw a tweet from Pro Wrestling Scorecards that said, it seems like WWE figured out who we were and then just started changing things to fuck with everyone. Which I can't argue that, because didn't your gorgeous wife get noticed because of a Pro Wrestling Scorecard shirt recently?
Yeah, she did. I don't know if it was just because it said pro wrestling on it or because they recognized the shirt, but we'll just pretend that they recognized the shirt.
Hey, it was a shirt that said Pro Wrestling Scorecards, and she was recognized for it. Tell the people who recognized her.
Fuck, I don't even remember. Randy Orton's aunt, I think it
Yep,
was.
that's who it was. The aunt of
Some random shit.
Yeah, the 12-time champion himself, Randall Keith Orton, the 3 most dangerous letters in pro wrestling today.
Sports entertainment.
Pro wrestling everywhere. There's that stuff thing. So obviously they've noticed you. Sorry, I'm just gonna go with that. You can go with that. We're all gonna go with that.
You can pretend.
So obviously the scores went kind of wonky because of it. Like, there was a match that was supposed to be on the pre-show between Andrade and Rey that turned into a United States Championship Fatal 4-Way on the main card.
Which way better than what they did the week prior.
But still really good.
Yeah.
It kept getting better because I like the Fatal 4-Way too. I liked them both. I like the one on SmackDown. I like the one on the pay-per-view. Daniel, what were you thinking as this pay-per-view was going on, minus the scoring part?
Minus the scoring part?
Yeah, minus having the score, like just as a fan watching.
I mean, it was a fucking mess. Like, I don't know how we went from point A to point B on that pre-show match. I mean, I saw how we went from point A to point B, but I don't know why they decided to throw that swerve in there like that. Everything just the entire pay-per-view just felt a little disjointed to me, ignoring the other shit I was dealing with the scorecard.
So you're one of the people who you weren't too excited about this pay-per-view. You thought it was kind of a BS pay-per-view?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, there was some. I mean, I can't even name a good match that was on there, honestly.
Really?
I can name 3 off the top of my head.
Yeah, because the Shield.
I don't know if I was just so into the scoring that I just lost interest, or.
Yeah, that could have been it, because the Shield match was really good.
I think SmackDown
the triple threat tag match was really good, and the triple threat WWE Championship match was really good.
And the Fatal 4-Way.
I say SmackDown ticked all the boxes on most of their matches.
Daniel, I will say this. I hope you go back and rewatch that pay-per-view, just in a.
I need.
Yeah, from a fan standpoint, because I fully agree. If your look at it is completely different than anyone else's, because what you're doing at the same time is also trying to put a score together for it, and you're not truly able to sit back and enjoy it. But I will say, man, this pay-per-view, to me at least, because you're not the only one. There was a bunch of people on social media when Facebook used to work. People on Facebook were pissed off about it. When Twitter's still working, people on Twitter were pissed off about it. So you're not the only one, and so it's definitely not just because you were kind of taken out from the other responsibilities you had for it. For some reason, man, people really shit all over this fucking pay-per-view.
I started the pay-per-view late because Sunday was parade day, so
yes.
I didn't get home till about 8 o'clock, and I didn't start the pay-per-view till about 8:30, so I was a little behind. And as I'm watching, the first couple matches, I'm reading all these reviews like, oh, this pay-per-view is trash, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of it, I'm going, I mean, it wasn't like this amazing pay-per-view, but it wasn't garbage either.
Right. That's how I felt about it.
It did its job, and I mean, it's the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, so it's gonna be a little low end just because you don't want it to overshine your biggest show of the year.
Yeah, and on top of that, normally I thought going into it, this is their throwaway pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And it did not feel to me like a throwaway pay-per-view. They put some real effort into it, and I was really excited about
the
that.
Pre-show, because like the pre-show, you got the setup for the Fatal 4-Way, you got the setup for Kofi and everything that in the New Day were doing.
Even the Shane and Miz versus the Usos. I mean, I won't say it had great wrestling prowess by any means, but you got to see the Miz do things that he doesn't normally do, so that was cool. Like. That in my book gave that match a couple extra points.
When you were vested in a couple different storylines throughout the whole pay-per-view, instead of just here's a match, here's a match, here's a match, here's a match, you had, you were on the edge of your seat, like waiting, like, okay, now what's going to fucking happen with this whole Kofi thing? Is he going to end up showing up in the main event, or what's going to happen? Or you were totally throwing that fucking curveball when the bar came out.
Yeah, and then you know there was also like things I found really stupid, like Ronda coming out and stuff like that. But I mean, you're gonna get that regardless.
I think Ronda was expected, but I think they could have did it different because it was like, here comes Ronda, there's the elbow. Okay.
Yeah, but it was just and I think Mikey said it in the chat or on Twitter or something like that. Like, oh, so you just had her cut this promo about fuck the WWE and their fake wrestling, but then she gives them exactly what the fuck they want. Like,
right. Yeah, and
it was
then,
more of a face move than anything.
Right, and then of course they try to backtrack it all on Raw, and we'll get into all that. So let's talk about just the scoring for this, because like you said, Daniel, you were having a whole bunch of fun, and obviously the scoring for this is something that sets up Breaking Down the Ring versus Pro Wrestling Scorecards 3.
3-0, baby. 3-0.
Hey, you'll be either 2-1 or 1-2.
Doesn't matter. As a team.
As a team,
as a team, 3-0. It's all that fucking matters.
It's like the Raw Survivor Series team. They're 2-0. Doesn't matter how fast Balor went out.
Mikey will probably end up going 0-3, but it doesn't matter as long as the team wins.
Taking the belts, baby.
There's a G1 Supercard on here.
So let's talk about this.
We're doing that too.
So let's talk about this. Our scorecards on our side, Daniel. I came out on top with 118. Smitty and Z on the backs of Smitty's picks came out with 117.
Appreciate that.
Joe got a
Son of a
114, and Nick got himself a nice 108. Which, for the way this, like you said, the way this pay-per-view went wonky, the fact that anyone pulled in such high scores like this was crazy. Like, the only reason I won is because I went crazy with my unscheduled appearances, and I got all 5 of them.
Another thing is, like, the 2 people I put in, like, I literally figured they were going to do something with the IC title because it's the last pay-per-view before Mania. So I put Balor and Strowman.
They did not. So, Daniel, how did Pro Wrestling Scorecards come up on this?
So Ramon came out on top with 112, followed by Dez with 109. Probably
baby.
won't score Jess with 104. Mario 101, and me in the back with an even 100.
So who?
Wow, really? You're rarely the last person there, brother.
Bum, 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 bum.
So your best guy would have been our 4th best. And
Just
you,
stop.
and you guys think you stand a chance. It's
All
cute.
right, so hold on. So
Aw.
what's crazy about this is, you and I were going over this the next day, and our lineup for 1st to 5th is actually the exact same lineup that we had win the first pay-per-view, because we did 2 pay-per-views this time. It was Elimination Chamber. The scores from Elimination Chamber plus the scores from Fastlane is how you go in order 1 through 5. So Joe is our number 1 with 214 total. I'm number 2 with 212 points total. Smitty 209 points totals in 3rd. Z in 4th with 205. And Nick is a real strong 180 in number 5. So what do we got for your end, brother, so we can know who we are taking on for the Mania weekend cards?
All right, so even though I lost at Fastlane in my group, I am the number 1 for the combined at 195. Jesse is number 2 at 194.
Mm-hmm.
Mario and Ramon are tied, so they're 3 and 4 at 192. And Dez in last at 178.
Didn't I beat both of them?
So
Rock.
Joe is taking on you. I am taking on Jesse. Smitty.
You might actually win.
So does that mean, since they're tied, does that mean me and Smitty get a tag team match here?
Ooh.
Dang.
Do you want to do? I wouldn't mind that.
Our combined totals.
You want to?
Come on, don't put me at a disadvantage like that.
Let's do that.
I like it. I like that. Z, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Z and Smit Z
Yep.
are going to take on Romario.
G1's mine.
Romario versus Smit Z.
You're copying my G1 answers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. I like Z. That was genius. Great on the fly thinking.
And you know how to know? I'll take it. I'll take Z as my partner. You know why? Because I've already beat both Mario and Ramon.
Could you beat him by yourself?
Yeah.
Could it be a handicap match?
Fuck no.
Just whatever your points are times 2, and that's we'll see your win.
Wait till that Z heel turn, and then he is facing.
All right, so as it's going, the main event is Joe versus Daniel. The second main event is the loser of all losers, me, versus the loser of all losers, Jesse.
and with the inaugural PSW or
PWS.
PWS tag team champions of the world.
This is why I do the announcing.
Correct.
And the first ever tag team match for Pro Wrestling Scorecards versus Breaking Down the Ring, it is Mario and Ramon versus Smitty and Z. And then in the intergender match,
On the pre-show,
winner takes all boobs.
Hey, you got some big ass titties, Nick.
Nick is taking on the Adesible one, Des herself. I like this lineup, man. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's let everyone know what PW Scorecards is doing for Mania weekend, sir.
Yeah. We're heading out there.
Start
So
again.
we will be at G1.
oh, sounds
We will
terrible.
be at Mania. We won't be at Takeover, unfortunately. But we're gonna go see Blackcraft, Pancakes and Pile Drivers, some other shit probably.
Pancakes and pile drivers.
So you guys are going to be in New York and New Jersey, because apparently there's a lot of people angry that everyone keeps saying it's at MetLife Stadium in New York City. And MetLife Stadium's in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So you guys are going to be floating between New Jersey and New York for WrestleMania weekend. But what cards are you putting out?
We're putting out Mania, Takeover, New York, and the G1 special.
G1 Supercard.
So our winner with 783 points.
Basically, yeah, it's going to be like a 400-point type thing you could pull off, man. How excited are you to do this G1? Because I was, telling everyone beforehand, before you came on, the last time you guys did anything outside of WWE was the All-In card. And you definitely had a completely different format of the card as to how it was going. And are you going to do something like that in this one, or are you going to try and keep along the same lines of format that you have currently going with all of the other cards?
I think the G1 will probably be similar to the All-In card. We're going to simplify it a little bit more than the normal WWE cards, because we're looking at a different audience, obviously, downloads. And quite honestly, I understand the product less too, so that simpler card is easier to do. And we'll over time, we're going to start doing New Japan more frequently and Ring of Honor more frequently. So over time, we'll start evolving those cards to be a little more, like our current product for WWE.
And I have to admit that, honestly, we cover very minimal of Ring of Honor, New Japan, and things here. But with you guys taking on more, and the fact that we have had 2 years now we've been going with this, man, just been going ever since we first had a conversation about us using the Pro Wrestling Scorecard. This has kind of developed into a great, friendship. I consider you a friend. We've both said we'd be at each other's funerals.
Frenemies?
No, not even frenemies, just friends. Like 100%. I consider
friendly rivals.
No, a friend. I'm gonna keep going with friend, Smitty. No matter how many times you try to make it something else, I consider him a friend. Idiot.
It's my tag team partner, everybody.
So
we had to wear dresses together.
Yeah, we did.
They did, man.
Yeah,
they've been connected for a while. Anyway, so back to this. In this 2 years, so it sounds like we're going to be also, I'm blocking the camera, going to be going more into Ring of Honor and New Japan as well. And I honestly have all of the plan to have all of the fun in the world with you guys, because as much shit as we talk to each other, it is fun no matter what. Top to bottom, we do this, we go back and forth, is because it is fun.
Agreed.
Dana's like, yeah,
Yeah,
great time.
totally fun. Totally fun. I love writing all these fucking scorecards out.
And getting your ass kicked.
I do actually love doing it, though. It's stressful scoring it. I'm going to fucking hate life during WrestleMania weekend, probably. But I love doing it.
I will say that it's the only time, because of how much is involved that what you're doing, that live scoring should not happen.
I was thinking that
You know what?
too.
I was thinking that too, but then I'm like, okay, Mania last year was nearly 50,000 users for us. I
Wow.
kind of don't want to not do live scoring.
Right.
So maybe do live scoring for like the Big Four weekends. And all the smaller ones you can do a day after.
No,
That's not a bad idea. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Right.
I mean, I have stuff that is not being announced yet that may change our world a little. So I don't know. We'll see.
I agree, and I'm excited for all of the stuff that you can't announce yet, but coming forward, because it's just, you've talked a little bit with me about it, and I'm excited for the growth of you guys. There's a reason that, through Breaking Down the Ring, I give to you guys every month on your Patreon. You deserve it. You guys put in a lot of fucking work. You sit down, you put all these, you figure it out. You design everything, you put it into it, and then at the same time, that weekend, you are putting everything out on Twitter, live scoring, putting out polls, constantly interacting with your fans, finding out things that you may have missed that you fixed and things. So you guys are busting your ass, man, and I'm honestly really proud of you guys.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, brother. We're friends, not friendly enemies, Smitty. Now, I know that you're at home and you've had a really busy week with work and everything like that. You are more than welcome to stay on and have some conversation about Fastlane, or you're also welcome to just go cuddle up with your wife.
I'll chill for a few.
No, I'll chill for a few. All right, sweet.
My
I
nigga.
like it. That's right. He is. So, in the pre-show for Fastlane, New Day defeated Shinsuke and Rusev, with Big E going over on Rusev. We all got 14 points on that.
That was the obvious
No,
call.
I'm sorry. We didn't all get on 14 points on that because somebody picked Nakamura.
Joe.
Yep. So that's the only reason it wasn't a three-way 117-point tie, was because Joe said Nakamura.
Oh, wow.
Then it kicked off with the Usos defeating Miz and Shane to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And Shane McMahon going full heel, beating the shit out of Miz, grabbing up Miz's dad, and beating the shit out of Miz even more.
And he really beat the shit out of him. Like, if you watch that was brutal.
Yeah, that's why Miz probably wasn't actually on SmackDown, because there were some problems.
He hasn't even
actual
been on
person.
like Twitter or Instagram either. Because
lives
I've
in
been
the
waiting
Browns.
for him to comment something about the Browns getting Odell Beckham, and it just silence. So he's probably dead.
Up next was the SmackDown Women's Championship match, where Asuka retained her title over Mandy Rose because of a banana peel of a ring apron that was in the ring. Then after that, the Bar defeated Kofi Kingston in a 2-on-1 handicap match, because just before this, Kofi was in the backstage talking to Vince McMahon, and the New Day said that they had to make the WWE
right
Championship match a three-way fatal triple threat. Sorry, god damn it, match for the WWE title. And Vince said, "You're right. It is going to be a triple threat match. And Kofi, you should get out there because your match is next." So Kofi coming out thinking it's a three-way for the WWE Championship match. Nope, it's a handicap match. Him versus the Bar, and the Bar whipped his ass. Then eventually,
Like a goddamn slave.
With the New Day being bar fried.
First off, none of those guys are American. They didn't even have slaves in their DNA, in their ancestry. One's Irish, the other one's Swiss.
The Irish were slaves too.
Yeah.
So the whitest and the darkest guy were both. You know what I mean?
And the guy in the middle, he was neutral. Up next was the Raw Tag Team Championship match, where the Revival retained over Aleister Black and Ricochet and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Then the United States Championship match, Fatal 4-Way, was put into effect. Samoa Joe retaining his title over R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, and Andrade. Then after that, the Women's Tag Team Championship match, where the Boston Hug Connection, or as Joe likes to call them, the Shrug Connection, defeated Nia Jax and Tamina. And then after the match, Nia Jax and Tamina decided to fight Beth Phoenix.
Hashtag beat up Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it's only set up for Divas of Doom versus Samoa Slaughterhouse at Mania pre-show.
The funniest part about that is before I started the pay-per-view, I'm like, man, like I'm kind of like in my head putting shit together for WrestleMania. I'm like, what's the Legends match going to be this year? Not even thinking, oh, hey, it could be a female match.
Yeah.
Like Nia and Beth Phoenix, could be your Legends match.
You can Divas of Doom versus Samoa Slaughterhouse.
Right.
During the pre-show.
Maybe, possibly. Up next was the WWE Championship match that was actually a triple threat match. And my God, did Mustafa Ali come out to a Rey Mysterio boo fest like Royal Rumble
Reigns won.
Not the one Reigns won. The one everyone was hoping it was
15.
Daniel
Oh,
Bryan.
with Daniel Bryan? Yeah,
so it was before WrestleMania 30, so 5 years ago.
One with Triple H won, right?
It was 5 years ago.
So 14.
I don't care which one. 5 years ago. Daniel Bryan defeated Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali. Becky Lynch then defeated Charlotte Flair via disqualification because Ronda Rousey became the biggest face in WWE by hitting Becky Lynch just to let her get into the match. After that, then Elias was out there for the third time. Keith Orton nailed him with an RKO. And then right after that, AJ Styles with a phenomenal forearm to Randy. Then after that, The Shield defeated Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin to close out the Fastlane pay-per-view. Let's talk about the biggest thing for this show, which is the main event. All right, The Shield reuniting after Roman, announcing he has leukemia.
Ambrose on his way out the door.
Ambrose on his way allegedly out the door, and them breaking up because Seth's going to take on Brock and everything like that after this. That was a great match, man. Nick, we're going to start off with you, sir. When you were watching that, how invested did they get you?
I was in it. It was a good match, and that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping to see Roman really, I was waiting to see how in it he really is. Like, is he really back? Or are they going to kind of put him in the back seat? And it was solid. I think one thing that kind of threw me off a little bit was towards the end when they were all kind of outside of the ring and, dicking around. I mean, they stood outside the ring for 2 minutes. Referees not counting on anybody. And
I said that too, but the two legal men were in the ring.
No, not what he's talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Before when they hit the Shield triple bomb, the power bomb through the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when everyone was outside.
Everybody
Everyone
was
outside,
out
yes.
there. But, I mean, whatever. It's the referee's discretion, I guess. So, but no, really good match. I was really happy with the ending, and I was glad they put it in the main event.
Daniel, when you were watching this, and obviously this isn't one that changed too much, what were your feelings on this? Was it a good match to you, or was it something that you were just like, get this fucking show over with?
No, you know what? I actually really enjoyed the match. I've always liked the Shield as a team. I hate the fact they keep going back to it repeatedly. It feels like I was half waiting for a Roman Reigns turn, since it's the only one that hasn't turned on him yet. I also thought that would be an interesting swerve because people wouldn't know whether to boo him for turning on them or not to boo because he's sick.
He's not in his right mind. He has cancer.
He's got cancer brain.
My favorite thing during the match, and this is not part of the match at all, it was Michael Cole at the beginning of the match when they're coming down the ramp. And he says, this is the last time we're going to see them because, Seth's going on to face Lesnar, and Dean is, out of the company, and Reigns has a future. Was his exact quote. Reigns has a future. I'm like, so since he's not dead, the Shield has to break up. Like, it was a weird statement.
That's right. I forgot he said that.
Fucking Michael Cole.
Because I was
Can
same
he just
way.
get off the commentary?
I was like, whoa, because he has a future? That's what? Like, so he can't be part of the Shield? All right, whatever.
I don't even know what the fuck he was trying to say there because nothing made sense.
Smitty, you are the ultimate Roman Reigns character hater. Not, again, let's make it very clear. You don't hate him as a wrestler. You hated him because of what WWE is doing with him. Now that he's back, cancer-ish free, what are your thoughts on him?
When it comes to the match, I thought the match was good, predictable, but yet it was still watchable.
Predictable.
Yeah, we saw like who's gonna be the most likely guy to take a pin, who's gonna make the pin, who does I'm tripping off my words here.
Marcus Mouth, huh?
No.
We're a tag team now. It's Z-Mouth.
Just taking in that Zima. Suck it down, bitch.
She doesn't like it too much. It's non-alcoholic.
Just took a turn.
For the
This
worst.
escalated quickly.
You're the one doing really good work.
Fuck all he is.
Continue.
Like some of the predictability of
That's a good word,
yeah,
man. You should never say that again. You cannot say it.
The predictability of the finish was just the one thing that kind of took me out of it a little bit.
So because you knew what was going to happen, you were like, whatever, I'm kind of done with this now before that ending of it?
Pretty much.
All right. Z kind of talked about it a little bit before Daniel called in and everything like that. So we'll go on to the next glaring thing that happened, and we'll even talk a little bit as to what happened on Raw and SmackDown from it. Becky's getting her ass fucking handed to her in a match against Charlotte Flair. She got more offense on Charlotte Flair Tuesday night before Fastlane than she did at Fastlane. Seemed to be selling the leg more than what she did at Fastlane. More at Fastlane than she did the Tuesday before. It's just weird. It's it's awkward. Ronda Rousey comes out.
I have one major problem with this. Come SmackDown, but
Ronda Rousey comes out and hits Becky Lynch in the chest to get Becky Lynch to get Charlotte disqualified and Becky the win, sneaking her in to the WrestleMania main event. Then Ronda comes out on Monday and cuts a very toned down promo of what she said in the video the Friday before this, which we'll also get into, saying, screw you bitches, I don't care. I don't think I forgot about how you booed me before this. Just because I got your girl into the match doesn't mean anything. I wanted her in this match. I wanted no one to have any excuse when I win this match to say I wasn't, blah, blah, blah.
said that in the chat.
Bandwagon bitches.
Then Becky comes out on SmackDown and says that she was in Ronnie's head and had Ronnie do what she wanted her to do all along. As if she knew she couldn't beat Charlotte Flair. So she needed someone to sneak her into the main event match by any means necessary. This is your face. What?
But
Go ahead.
But she walked to the ring. No limp. No,
She
no.
threw the crutch away. So she got.
She had a limp, but you're right. I agree that
But here's the thing: you were selling it so bad at Fastlane.
you got put in a single leg crab.
You literally all the offense was to the knee. So come Tuesday, if anything, you should have been in a fucking wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, and now my thought was when they started the match, I thought she was gonna throw, the fake limp thing,
Yeah.
throw the cane and then have something like that. Didn't do that. Takes all the offense to her knee. Then comes out on SmackDown walking much better than she's walked in the past month.
Yep.
Yeah.
That irked me as far as just storyline and even
Consistency,
psychology.
continuity.
continuity there, yeah.
Psychology of it. Oh, okay, you're fucking John Cena now. It took you 3 days to heal from a broken kneecap. Awesome.
Well, she could be R-Truth's childhood hero in the future.
I love the fact
do
that
you
somebody finally
think-
mentioned it.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think all of that is leading to a John Cena versus R-Truth at Mania match?
No, I think Cena's coming to fight Angle.
Because
I think Cena fights Joe.
he's using Cena's. I mean, he does the 5-knuckle shuffle and the little thing, and I just wondering if they're going somewhere with that.
I don't think so. Not as far as a match against Cena. Like I said, I think the minute Kurt announced his retirement match at Mania, the best bet is Cena.
I think it's gonna be Strowman.
So-
Give him something to do at Mania.
Strowman is clearly going to be fucking with the SNL guys.
I know, but they can still put him in. They can possibly still end up in a match on the side.
Yeah.
Just another dose of Wednesday Night Wrong from Smitty.
It's okay.
Let's start
we'll
off
work on
with
that.
let's start off with this promo Ronda cut. So Ronda cuts this promo. I'm at work. I get home and I see this shit, and I officially go onto our Periscope and talk about it a little bit. Daniel, did you see this entire promo?
I didn't see any of it.
Well, what the shit, man? How do you know what to believe anymore if you're not watching everything, Daniel? All right.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. I still love you. Nick, did you see it?
The one on Friday?
Yes, the one where she was saying fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck.
I did not see that
Okay,
one either.
Smitty, did you see it?
Yes.
Z did not. All right, so Smitty, you and I are going to have a conversation.
Because it's like somebody blew up my damn Facebook account. Like, dude, you got to go and look this up. You got to look this up. Like, okay. I was in the middle of work.
So Rhonda cuts a Rhonda on the road thing. And they ask her about, like, they're just talking about things. They're like, the whole thing is, it starts with her showing up in Pittsburgh, right? And there's people cheering on the side, and she's like, happy birthday, blah, 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 blah. And then it shows Raw and, you know, things that happen on Raw. And then it shows Rhonda leaving. And I'm thinking it's the same person with the birthday. That Rhonda sticks her head out of the car, and she says, hope you get pneumonia. Fuck your birthday. And I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Holy shit. She's going old school heel. So then it cuts to her having cheesesteak and saying which one was better. And then she goes back to the hotel room. And the person filming asks her, what were you thinking with everything on Monday Night Raw? And Rhonda says things like, I'm tired of placating to this. This is ridiculous. Everyone knows I could whip these bitches' ass. Fuck the WWE universe. Fuck of what they want, scripts they want me to say. They were like, well, what about your promo? She goes, what a fucking promo. It's exactly how I felt. They told me they gave me other things to say. I ain't fucking saying. Fuck it. Fuck Becky Lynch. Fuck Charlotte Flair. She was dropping F-bombs
Left
like
and right.
crazy. I'm not even I'm not exaggerating this. This is her saying,
No, fuck this company.
Fuck the WWE universe.
industry.
She goes, everyone knows that it's scripted. She almost said fake. She pulled back. And she's like, everyone knows it's scripted. And if I so much as sneezed on these girls, I'd fucking kill them. And I was like, holy fucking shit. So
Can you pull it up? So we probably pull it up if we can play it, possibly.
Can you find it? Because I'm not going to look for it right now.
Okay.
So basically, I went on our Periscope and I said, I fucking loved it. And I loved it because it was pure old school heat. It's exactly what the old school heels would do. When they went out and they looked at fans, they said, fuck you. You know, when they were out and fans wanted an autograph, they were like, no, and rip their fucking pad up. And they would get genuine, actual heat.
It's like 10-minute video, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's a 10-minute video, but it's only like the last 2.5 minutes that are anything about the minute you see her sitting and someone behind her doing her hair.
So that's what all
That's
those
all
memes
those
were
memes came
about.
from,
Yes.
too.
And she basically was calling all this stuff out. And I have to say that it made her the biggest heel in the industry, which I guess then makes kind of sense why it didn't baffle anyone here more. You know, because like I know Zealand, you saw hit Becky, you were just like, what the hell? You know, like that's kind of weird.
No, I mean, I wasn't surprised by it. I was just like, I just thought it was dumb.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I understand what they're trying to do here, but again, like, okay, you cut this promo. And just like I said in the chat, I was like, all right, now we're going to get a terrible promo from Rhonda about how she wanted to face both of them and blah, 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 which is what we got. I mean, I won't say it was terrible because it was a little better than her previous promos, but I think when she goes out there and gets on the mic, she starts rapidly thinking and like gets...
Well, we talked about this last week. Found out that Ronda Rousey something happened when she was younger, and there was head trauma, so it gave her a bit of a stutter.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So, like, a lot of these people are giving her shit for stuttering in a promo, but it turns out it's an actual deficiency that she has. So a lot of people stop saying shit.
Being scripted probably doesn't help with that because then
right.
Okay,
and that's why
makes
you can
more
tell.
sense.
You can also tell that they've been kind of bullet pointing her a little bit more now because her promos have been getting better.
Yeah.
And it's because that they're probably not going, hey, say this.
I think I got it.
I do. I mean, I do like the heel turn. I mean, this is. I don't necessarily care whether or not they brought her into the company as a face or a heel, But what she's doing now, like just literally beating people up, this is how they should have brought her in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Also, side note, I think she looks way better in yoga pants than she does in her, old ring gear. So there's that.
Go ahead and play that for us, Derek. Just right on the front of the mic.
Giving your promo, and it wasn't a promo. They gave me other things to say, and I didn't fucking say it.
She's drinking a bunch of water right now.
What's the thing? It's not a fucking promo. It's not an act. I'm not going out there and doing their fucking act anymore. They can say it's part of the act to kind of try to save face to everybody else, but it's not an act. I'm going out there, I'm doing whatever the hell I want, and they can explain it away however they want, but fuck them. Everybody, WWE Universe included. I meant that I'm going to disrespect the sport that they all love so much. Oh, don't break kayfabe, Ronda. Wrestling's it's scripted. It's made up. It's not real. None of those bitches can fucking touch me. The end.
That's just like the last 45 seconds.
Yeah, which is fine. That's really all you kind of needed from it. But that's what she did. She cut a pure old school heel heat promo, and then went out and was the biggest face in the company in Fastlane. Like she said that Friday. And then went and got everyone's favorite person into the match. And then on Monday was like, fuck you guys. I did it because of this. And it was like, all right, kind of makes sense, but still kind of dumb. And then Becky comes out and Becky goes, well, that's because I got into her head and blah. I gave her a southern accent. I don't know why. And she was just like, Becky went from being the hottest fucking thing in this company to one of the coldest acts, coldest storylines going on right now. I'm of the firm belief in my head that if Kofi wins this gauntlet on SmackDown, if they actually give him a WWE title match at WrestleMania, Becky doesn't go on last anymore. Ronda doesn't go on last anymore. They don't deserve it. They don't have that much pop from the audience. Kofi is who you want.
They still give it to Ronda. They still give it to Becky and Ronda because of Ronda's name.
I'm not saying they won't do it.
It'll be like the co-main event and before the.
I'm not saying that the women aren't going to go on last. I'm saying they shouldn't go on last. Before this Kofi stuff, before they'd made this convoluted fucking storyline with Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair,
it was right in itself.
This was the greatest thing in pro wrestling.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
And now they lost it. They lost it. It's to the point where I don't care about this match anymore. I don't. Daniel, do you give a shit about this fucking match at Mania anymore?
Not at all. I feel like they're just
WWE did.
I just hate Ronda Rousey.
What'd you say again?
I just hate Ronda Rousey. I can't get excited about the shit at all.
I mean, Becky touched upon it on SmackDown, but I was thinking when they made when they did the whole thing, where Ronda vacates the title, but then Steph's like, oh, you're not going to vacate the title? Here you go, champ. Here's your title back. Now it's these two, and Becky gets in the match if she wins. And I'm thinking in my head, Becky won the Royal Rumble. So in all reality, it should be if Charlotte wins the match, Charlotte is in the triple threat. If not, it goes back to being a one-on-one champ versus Royal Rumble winner. Because now, not only does it fuck with your storyline a little bit, but now it's basically telling me, oh, the Royal Rumble means nothing. Sweet, cool.
If in any shape or form that they said one line about that, if they said the minute you got suspended, your Royal Rumble victory was negated.
Correct.
Null and void. You say that changes it.
Yep.
No one else. I agree with you wholehearted, because this all fucking started because Becky tapped at Royal Rumble. Becky tapped to Asuka and then snuck her way into the Rumble, got taken out of the fucking match after the Rumble, got reinstated, taken right back out, and then snuck her way back in, only to cut a promo where she was like, man, he means necessary, long of minute. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And it's like,
no, but she's
why
like,
are we cheering
she's
for
like,
her?
I had to wrestle for an opportunity to wrestle in a match that I already earned the opportunity to be in.
Right.
And she was not, she's not wrong.
But each time that she won those matches, Royal Rumble, snuck herself into it. She wasn't in the Rumble. She got into it because Lana couldn't. That match at Fastlane, that match at Fastlane snuck into the WrestleMania main event. There's okay.
Do you think this is a case of, all right, Becky is white hot right now. We're gonna take our foot off the gas pedal now so she doesn't get too over. Because it's that thing where they only want people to get so over, and then they kind of pull back a little bit just so they don't have like a CM Punk walkout or a Stone Cold walkout, or they only let people get so big so they don't become bigger than the WWE.
I think this is a situation of the WWE
dropping the ball completely.
No, doing what I do on the Pro Wrestling Scorecard.
Overthinking it.
Yeah.
They WWE'd it. The story was writing itself for the most part.
That makes sense with the DQ finish too.
Side note, got 3 points because of DQ finish, bitches, because I called it. That got me the fucking title. Bitches, what up, Brocast? And Mario, fuck yourself. I don't hate the women's division because I still think Asuka deserves better than what the fuck she's been getting.
But I still take a pee break during their matches.
Really?
It's
only because normally when they go on, I really gotta pee.
I drink so much because Mandy Rose dehydrates
I mean,
me.
the difference is now I pause it before I pee.
My blood goes to another place.
Yeah. Ew. Mandy. Yeah, I do too. Let's talk about the PW scorecard guy. Daniel, what's up?
What's up with what, man?
Are you okay,
I got
man?
no different opinion on this. I hate Ronda.
No. Are you falling asleep over there?
No.
Oh, okay. I want to talk to you now because let's get away from all this Becky Lynch, Ronda fucking Rousey stuff.
All right.
Aleister Black and Ricochet. They faced the Revival and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. They did not come up with the victory. Obviously, the Revival pinning Gable and everything like that. What did you think about that match, and how do you feel Aleister Black and Ricochet are acclimating to the main roster? Because there's a lot of people that are pissed off that they're in a tag team right now.
Yeah, you know what? I would have rather seen them come up in singles, but I also think they're gelling really well as a tag team. Like, I think it's an odd couple for sure.
Oh, they got.
I think they work together well. I think they put on some. They're both incredibly talented, so they put on some strong matches. I was really hoping they'd win. I didn't think they were going to, but I did pick them on the card stupidly. But and they put on a great match every time. I think that match was no different. Although I think we now know. I don't know if you've read the NXT spoilers at all. But we now know why they didn't win it.
Yeah.
I knew about the NXT spoilers for up to tonight because didn't tonight they film new stuff for the next couple weeks?
Next couple weeks, but tonight's aired show was
the last one of yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know what happens.
Nope.
Well, we're not going to spoil it then, but yes.
Appreciate that.
But that's like the whole Dusty Classic is the reason they got him tagging on the main roster to keep up with continuity of NXT.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I knew they were in the Dusty Classic. I know something happens at the Dusty Classic, but I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right. Well, you're gonna when you go home and watch NXT.
Right.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but that whole thing's shot now.
Whatever.
You just don't know how to tease me.
I mean, personally, I like the way they did it, or brought them on the main roster. I can't even say up yet because they still even announce them as NXT guys. They don't have the main roster banner. They're just NXT. And obviously I'm speaking because I don't know the spoilers, so whatever. But I like the fact that they brought them up as a tag team, even though they're like two guys that are kind of different styles and different sizes. Everyone wanted to see them be brought up in singles runs. But as a tag team, they have a spot. As a tag team, they don't get lost in the shuffle. You know what I mean? Like, and this to me is like old school style booking. Like, all right, these two random guys are a tag team. We're gonna give them a nice little run as a tag team, like a year, maybe year and a half. Then you have the turn, which Aleister Black and Ricochet are gonna put on a fantastic match if there's whoever turns on who. Then they each go their separate ways in a singles run. Maybe mid-card title, you know what I mean? Like they can do a lot with that, and these guys are the younger generation coming up, so they don't necessarily have to push them to the moon. But as long as they have a spot and stay relevant, whether it be as a tag team or a singles, I don't see a problem with it.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because I fully agree with everything you just said. I love the fact that they're in a tag team because it keeps them relevant. It keeps them on the main roster. It keeps them in matches consistently.
And on both shows, too, like the way they're doing
100%. Most people, when they see stuff like this, they kind of think the Rockers. Like, oh, we're just waiting for them to break up, right? And obviously, we know that's going to happen down the line.
I don't think that. They say there's going to be a Superstar Shakeup after Mania. I think they keep them together, and then they get split during whatever Superstar Shakeup comes out.
Okay, so you're answering my question early. Z, where do you think is a good time to split them? Because it could be Smitty's point where technically they're on both shows, and the Superstar Shakeup could then say, all right, now we're going to put you on a specific show. Or do you think, do we get a nice feud from them, and could it be something like Austin Rock Triple H, where they fight forever down the line throughout the titles and stuff?
All right, so honestly, it depends on what WWE is trying to do. If you split, I'm never going.
No, I'm saying I don't care what WWE wants to do. I'm saying, what would you like to see happen?
Personally, I would like to see them as a tag team for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And I know it sounds like a long time, but the longer you keep them together, the more surprised you're going to be when they eventually break up. Because WWE has this problem where they'll pull the trigger too early on heel turns or turns as tag teams, in my opinion. Because right now, if the New Day broke up, granted, we've all kind of been waiting for it, and it hasn't happened. So it's in the back of your mind now. So when it happens, you're like, oh shit, it's happening. Mm-hmm. I would like to see something like that, other than all right, well, we lost the tag team titles. We've only been a tag team for 2 months, and now we turn on each other. I'd rather have them at least give them enough time to build a bond. They gel together, maybe get an actual team name, maybe kind of match the outfits. You know what I mean?
Like DIY did?
Yeah, because and look at that turn. And just give it time to develop, because who knows? It could end up that Aleister Black and Ricochet go on to be the best tag team ever. Mm-hmm. You never know. But if you get both, in my opinion, they're both already the fuck over. But will I be upset if they break up at the shakeup? No. Okay. I won't, because I'd love to see them both in singles competition. I'm not mad with what they're doing, and I won't be mad if they go their separate ways either. Okay. As long as they don't get lost in the shuffle.
Now, Nick, with the Revival getting this win at Fastlane, a lot of people were, because they were getting the loss. They took the loss to Aleister Black. They took the loss to Gargano and Ciampa. Is that a good win for them? And does it help keep them moving in a positive direction?
Yeah, I think it does. And they needed that win, too, because since they had won the title, they were just getting their asses handed to them match after match after match. And I think it's against I like Gable and Roode. I think they're a solid team. I completely agree with what Z said with Black and Ricochet. I think they're a solid tag team. It's nice to see the tag division slowly but surely kind of creeping back, and they're putting a little more effort to it, at least on the Raw side of things. But the Revival, I think they definitely. It was a good win. They needed it. I think they're going to let them have it for a little while.
All right. Moving on to the Kofi situation that happened from Fastlane all the way to SmackDown. On the pre-show, the McMahon family sent for Kofi. Kofi waited for an hour and then eventually got into it, then was put into the handicap match. And then the New Day just go nuts during the first match on SmackDown at the end of it, just beating up
All
Hardy
the
Boys,
heels.
Aleister Black, Ricochet, and the Bar, Shinsuke, and Rusev. Well, I guess mainly just the heels because they didn't touch the other guys, but the other guys didn't help them go nuts. After that, and the main event area of it, the New Day come out to Mr. McMahon, and Mr. McMahon proceeds to say that he appreciates everything Kofi has done. He's not knocking him, and then says to him, he goes, "You're going to be a Hall of Famer, but as a member of the New Day, not as a singles competitor." And he just sat there going, "Oh, that's so true. And it sucks, but he's right." And then he goes, actually, I was talking to Daniel Bryan, and he used the words, "You are a B+ player." And it was at that moment I hated everything about this Kofi storyline. Daniel, are they announcing that he has a gauntlet match again on SmackDown next week to possibly get him into the WrestleMania title match against Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship? Are they doing too much with this? Should somebody have come out and said, "Dad, fuck you, I'm going to put him in this match," kind of like they did for Becky-ish 2 weeks ago on Raw? Where are you at with this whole Kofi Kingston storyline?
I feel like they're just going too far with this one. Like, I get the whole, like, you know,
This is
stacking
black
things
people?
against him aspect. But what I don't like is that it just feels like every week that you know, from a story perspective, they're just trying to screw him. I just feel like it's just going too far to a point where at some point people are just not gonna give a shit anymore, right? It's really a case of like them just taking it one step further than they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And then it also becomes unbelievable that he just keeps overcoming these obstacles and keeps doing it without faulting. That, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just think it's shitty writing, honestly. And I think, you know, it ultimately resulted too in, you know, somebody like Mustafa Ali, you know, getting a major boo for a guy that was like super over before he got injured, you know, that brief injury that he was out for. Like, I think they don't even know what the fuck they're doing, and they're kind of more fucking shit up than they are, you know, pushing this along. In the end, we're going to get what we want, but it just feels like they're just going, it's a convoluted ass way to get there. It's similar to the Becky Lynch situation.
Now, I do have a question for Daniel. Now, let's say we don't get what we want and Kofi is not in the match. If it's not Kofi, who else do you think would face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania?
Oof. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, you had the Ali option, but now that's gotten a little weird too, right? Man, I don't even know, because they've already taken, like, you know, Styles and Orton out of the picture. Joe's doing his own thing now. Like, I don't know who else it would be at this point,
I mean,
right?
could you argue a KO one-on-one match just because he wasn't the one pinned in the triple threat?
That was also
Yeah,
one
maybe.
that was also one of the original ideas, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the other confusing part about this whole storyline is, like, they're presenting, you know, Vince as the one that's doing all this negative shit to Kofi. They're trying to push KO as this, like, almost semi-good guy thing, but because of what's going on, like, the reaction is not there for him. You know, it's just a big mess. So I don't know who. The only right option at this point is Kofi if you want the match to not, you know, be
Get booed out of the building.
another, you know, shit show Mania match.
Another Triple H Roman Reigns match.
Yeah,
at Mania.
exactly.
Smitty, how are you feeling about this storyline?
So, to a certain degree, I agree with what Daniel said, but I don't think they're gonna give a shit. There's not they're gonna give a shit. I think they're just gonna be so angry to the point where they tune out.
That would be not giving a shit.
No.
Actually be the definition.
No. I'm more talking like rage quit, not give a shit. Like you invested too much in this and you still not gonna give me what I want. They're gonna pull up Batista like, oh, you think I'm not gonna quit? I'm not gonna quit? I quit. And just tune out. I think you're gonna give too much. No. I'm thinking you're gonna give too much of a shit.
What?
You're gonna Okay, but you're gonna burn yourself. You're gonna burn yourself out there like this. I care so much that I know when I still don't get what I want. I just don't want to deal with the disappointment anymore.
Yeah, because you don't give a shit anymore.
No, it's because I care. You miss what I'm saying.
No, I don't think you know what you're saying.
I know. I kind of understand what he's trying to say. Like he gives a shit, but that's why he can't watch the match because watching it would just anger him. So instead of being in his feelings, he'd rather just not watch it.
You'd rather push it all down.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of like shut up and take it kind of thing.
We're not in prison.
Z, when he called him a B+ player, did
Callie sigh.
is that them straight up looking at you going, hey, guess what we're doing again?
Yeah. Like it was, I mean,
Nick.
It was, it's nice that Kofi got over organically because of his performances. And
what are you drinking for?
Now,
God, do you know how to drink?
Organic.
Organic's not a word.
No, because whenever we use word, I use the word organically really often on the show.
Fodder is the drink word.
But I use it properly.
I'd use organically properly as well.
Anyways.
Orgasmic.
Orgasmically.
So again, Kofi got over organically. He's been there for 11 years. It was a nice little storyline. But the minute Vince called him a B+ player, and the fact that it came from Daniel Bryan, it's just like, oh, this is what we're doing. Like, this is the route we're going. So you're going to lose this gauntlet match, and then you're going to face Triple H to be put in a triple threat match and somehow get involved with Batista. Obviously it's not where they're going with it, but yeah, it was shades of the Daniel Bryan push. And then it's like, okay, I just lost. I won't say I lost complete interest, but I lost significant interest because now I'm like, okay, you've already done this. Like,
not even a decade ago. Not even.
Well, right. So, it is what it is now. But before I was like invested. And partly because of I just feel like they're doing the Vince hates black people storyline. I did really like Kofi's promo though.
I like that whole end segment.
Yeah, but you could tell Kofi that wasn't a promo for Kofi. That was like when they gave Punk the mic, and it wasn't as significant as the pipe bomb, but it's like when they gave Punk the mic and go, all right, air your grievances. And that's kind of what Kofi did on Tuesday. He was like, listen, like I've never went trick-or-treating with my kids because I've been here for you. I've never done this because I've been here for you. And you could just tell, like, that wasn't a scripted promo. It wasn't bullet pointed. He was just, like, talking as, I don't know if his real name's Kofi Kingston, but.
It's probably not. I don't even think he's Jamaican.
Yeah, but
What happened to your accent?
Yeah. He's actually from Boston.
All right.
The other Kingston's not from Boston.
Jim Smith.
Now, if Kofi wins next week, Daniel, and they put him in some sort of other way to try and get him into this match, are you tuned out? Is this your not give a fuck time?
Yeah, more or less. I'm already almost kind of there, but I'm intrigued to see where they go still on the same token. So I don't know. Again, I think in the end we end up in the right place. They're just taking such a weird path to get there. I don't know. This one confuses me. Like I also the whole Vince thing. Like the whole I do think it is almost a Vince hates black people storyline in a way. I don't think they're doing it intentionally. That's what it feels like. But then I feel like 3 months ago we were at we're gonna give everybody what they want speech to literally every storyline is like almost the exact opposite of that.
But at the same time, if it all ends with Becky going over, Kofi going over, and Seth going over at WrestleMania, didn't they give you what you wanted?
But how many people did they piss off in that path, though?
Not going to
you know what I
argue
mean?
that
Like,
because I made a very strong case for that last week when I said sometimes when you're reading a book, the story is great and you can want the ending and you want this hero, this person to win, but if you can't fucking follow that story, you don't give a shit about the ending anymore.
Yep.
I fully agree with you. I'm like not going to argue that at all because that is the truest thing you can say about this is if you kill the build, then it doesn't matter what you did at the end. Sorry.
right.
Yeah,
And here's
the ending doesn't
you know
matter.
damn well, you know damn well that one of these matches is not going to end the way people want it to. And most likely, it'll be this one.
Yeah.
Really, I think most likely it's going to be Brock.
Yep.
I think if you got to look at it, which one is really going to piss you off? It's going to be we're keeping it on Brock.
See, I have so, well, Daniel brought up something about a Roman turn, and I think I can like just something that popped in my mind, like let Seth win and then have Roman turn on him. Like you stole my moment at Mania, he steals his, and at least a feud between those two.
Plot twist.
I thought about that too.
Roman turns heel. Smitty becomes the biggest Roman Reigns fan ever.
I will say that something just happened with Roman Reigns outside of what happened on Raw where he took the kick. Roman pulled off all the live events for TV for WWE right now.
Came back too quick.
That's what she said.
No, I know
what you're talking about.
I'm being serious. Like, I mean, I've obviously I wasn't on the show when you guys talked about it, but if this isn't a work, like normally people have to let their body recover, no matter what the treatment was, whether it was on the worse end with the chemo and the radiation and the hair loss and all that, or even just
that pill.
Yeah, you still have to let your body recover. And especially like if he was doing like blood transfusions and shit during this or whatever, then like he's really weak. I mean, obviously he may not look it, but I mean, you never know. Like I thought about it and I was like, wow, if he really has leukemia, that explains like every time he gets busted open why he bleeds so goddamn much. Because and I mean, who knows? Like Roman, I mean, they either pulled him from the live events because something is actually wrong with him, or they pulled him from the live events because they're selling the shit out of this. So, well, yeah, I guess we'll see what it is.
Right. See what they're doing with it. Last thing I want to talk about with all of this build from Fastlane on through the shows, AJ Styles and Randy Orton. AJ Styles and Randy. So Randy hit the RKO on Elias, and in the pre-show, AJ said that he'll deal with Randy Orton when it's time to deal with Randy Orton. Well, right after that RKO, AJ hits the phenomenal forearm. AJ then comes out and cuts a promo, and Randy comes out, and they have a war of words. And
Orton came out first.
Orton came out?
Yeah.
Orton came out, then AJ came out, yeah. And then they had a war of words. And Orton was like, you saying that this is the house that AJ Styles built, but back at this point where you were in bingo halls, I was becoming the youngest WWE champion. When you were in Florida with Dixie Carter getting your tan on, I was taking on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Daniel, we'll start with you as our guest and everything. Is this going to be the match that most likely steals the show of WrestleMania? And how are you feeling about this build?
I feel like I keep saying this, but there are so many people I do not like that are going into Vegas. Like Orton is one of my least favorite, probably wrestlers of all time.
Really?
Why?
I don't like it. I struggle to support people that are in real life just true pieces of shit, and I don't know. I think he's just as cookie cutter of a wrestler. Cena is like I don't know. I've always struggled with him. I've never understood why people like him, and I'm a little disappointed, quite honestly, that AJ's in a match with him. I do think they'll put on a good match. I'm not saying he's not a solid worker. I just have never.
I'll give you this. Randy as a face is absolutely awful to watch, and it's boring.
It's like The Miz.
Randy as a heel, I think he's what I think not so much now, but through that run of Cena for a decade, Randy was the top heel of the company, I mean,
On that 09 run with Legacy.
and I mean, he's just so fluid. There's no wasted movement in the ring. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's subjective, and you don't like him, and that's
Even
your opinion,
Daniel's
but-
wife says Orton is boring.
What does Joe call him?
I think
Blandy
he's a
Borton?
great worker. Don't get me wrong. As an actual human being, he is a piece of trash. And
I was gonna say that's a different story.
yeah,
It's a different story.
So it's Hulk Hogan, damn it. He'll
Des
call-
said that when Randy Orton's aunt said that she was Randy Orton's aunt, she made a disappointed face.
Why? Because it's Randy Orton.
No, like, because she hates Randy Orton. That's why she made the disappointed face. That makes sense. I think Randy Orton is the most underrated wrestler in WWE. I think everything Randy Orton does in that ring, I said wrestler. I think everything that Randy Orton does in that ring is as solid and as fluid as any wrestler should do what they're doing. There's a reason that his snap power slam is the most beautiful snap power slam you will see. There's a reason
And that
that when
backbreaker.
Randy Orton goes up for a drop kick, only fucking Dolph Ziggler's is better than it. You know, Randy, and this
stole
is
that from
again
Hawk-
just
from
my,
Hawker Holly, though.
and this it doesn't matter where he stole it from, because again, just what kind of got
Yeah.
into with the promo when AJ Styles says, "Oh, you're coming out with a knockoff diamond cutter," and then Randy goes, "Oh, you and your buddies on the Indies never stole anything," and then throws up the too sweet sign. It was a great fucking promo.
Yeah.
Both of them went back and forth. Even the little flubs from Randy Orton did not take you out of it because it just was so good and so real. Nick, this match, is it one of your top 2 matches you're looking forward to for WrestleMania?
I wouldn't say top 2, but I would say top 3 for sure.
Really? So what would the 2 above it be? Because obviously if it's not top 2 and it's in the top 3, that makes it number 3. Deduced.
No, you know what? You might be right. Yeah, top 2, because the only other one I'm really looking forward to seeing is Brock and Seth, because I fucking hope Seth wins.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a good match. To my recollection, these two haven't had a one-on-one match that I can remember.
In ever.
Never.
Ever.
Yeah, this will be it'll be a first time ever.
So that's going to be a hell of a match.
The only thing I did not like about the promo is it. I mean, it obviously it was different, but it felt a lot like AJ and Cena. Like a lot of the same things were said. I mean, obviously different tones, and they went a step further with it as far as like talking about the diamond cutter and the stealing and all that. But
this time it was the face saying about how it was great to be on the Indies instead of the face going, "You haven't been here and you don't deserve this spot yet."
Yeah, but it's the same thing. You got the WWE made guy versus the indie guy.
Kind of like Eddie Kingston was just saying earlier. The WWE chose him first, the guy who scratched and clawed his way throughout the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Randy Orton, who actually is really good in the ring, being chosen, and John Cena being chosen just because he's John
Well, I'm
Cena.
just about the basic concept
Yeah,
of the WWE
yeah.
chosen versus the indie guy who scratched and clawed his way to get a name for himself.
Smitty, where are you at with this match? Is this one of your top?
I'm going back to what Nick originally said. It's one of my top 3. I'm still the jury is still out with the Daniel Bryan championship match, but
Of course
So if Kofi's in it, it's must see. If not, fuck that match.
no, because I still would like to see if they go with the original plan of Kevin Owens versus Bryan 1-on-1. I would still like to see that as well, but it would make that the 3rd match instead of the 2nd. But I'm also with the Seth Brock thing, one because of that theory that popped in my head. Instead of actually going over, that it's a 3rd.
Okay. I said that was the last thing I wanted to talk about, but I was wrong because Mario brought something up on the comments that was very good. Rey Mysterio's tights, man.
Dude, that nude tone. I said the same thing. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
He's like wearing a thong.
Yeah.
Like even Corey Graves commented on it. He's like, Rey
It's called-
Mysterio's
it's called-
tanning his cheeks.
It's called the dance belt. I know this because
It's called a what?
it's called a dance belt.
A dance belt?
Yes,
because Marcus makes you wear one?
No.
No, he doesn't make me wear one.
Makes him wear new tights too.
No.
They're
I've
also
actually-
called black
I
yoga
know,
pants.
I've actually took jazz, and I've taken a year of ballet.
Jazz hands.
And when the dance studio I did did productions with, they required us to wear one. It's pretty much a couple's cup.
But it's on the outside, not the inside.
Maybe they made him wear it. Maybe he just put it on the wrong way.
I'm going to tell you this right now. That was designed on his tights, dude. It wasn't
Oh,
something
no,
he
that's-
wore.
Totally rethinking this tag team match.
You would be in this tag team match if you didn't copy my answers, asshole.
True, I could be the champion, or I could be the last place guy.
You would have been a champion.
Fucking dance belt. When you saw those tights, Nick, was it just like did it take you away from the entire match?
For a minute, because I thought it couldn't get any worse than I think there were some lime green tights with like a white diaper looking type thing that he had.
Yeah, I
going
know
on
what
for a
you're
while.
talking about. They were,
Yeah, but those like
they
Hamas
were
was old
they were
ones.
green with the white diaper and like black boots. I know exactly what you're talking about because he had like the black horsehair
Yeah.
mask. Yeah,
I had to take a double. I was like,
But-
what the
But if you
what
look,
the fuck?
the funny thing is, I know what tights you're talking about because when I saw those tights, I'm like, these are kind of a homage to his WCW days because like the kind of design, the basic design of it was kind of what he wore when he was in WCW.
You talking about the style, like it was
Yeah,
a
the
low
style.
cut top and everything,
Like,
but there was still a thong on the design. Like, how did he get away with that?
What part of him thought that looks good?
I don't care what
Let's-
part of him
let's
thought
do
that looks good.
What
What
part
part
of
of the shit in the background was like, wearing those tights, huh?
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Let's roll with it.
it's Ray. How are you gonna tell him no? Like you know what I mean? Ray wants to wear a thong out there.
Ray's like
wearing
the
a
biggest
thong.
baby face of professional wrestling right now.
Unless he comes in number 30 in the Royal Rumble 5 years ago.
Yep.
Daniel, do you think WWE is at least in the right lane on this road to WrestleMania, or do they need to get on a different highway?
I think overall, when all said and done, dust settled, I think we'll end up with a pretty decent card. It looks like. I'm excited that we're going. I'm excited to be there for it. I think it'll be I don't know. I think it'll be a good one being it. I don't think it's going to be a bad card by any means. I just think the path that they're taking to get there is what just feels convoluted to me. I am confident we're going to end in the right place though.
What about you, Z? Are they on the right road, or they need to get on a different highway?
Right now, it seems like they're on the right road, but you never know. They could hit construction and have to take a detour.
Smitty.
Right road, potholes, gonna end up with flat tires right before you get there.
Man, you have zero faith in the build for WWE, do you?
Nope.
Nick.
They're on the right road, but I don't know what road that is. As long as they get there, though, and I think they'll get there one way or another. They may have to take a detour. That freeway might be closed. They might have to take the service drive, but they'll get there.
All right, now we'll end this with a question for everyone with just a yes or no answer is all I need. Daniel, if two of the three matches, being Seth, Becky, or Kofi, if two of the three of those win, are you happy? Do you think you're happy with the overall product of WrestleMania when it's all said and done?
Yeah.
Z,
Yeah.
Smitty,
Yeah.
Nick.
Yep.
I also say yeah. All right. Daniel, thank you so much for calling in, brother. As always, it's a real pleasure to have you on. We can't wait to whip your ass at the WrestleMania scorecards.
3-0, baby.
Again,
3-0.
let's break down the matches. It's going to be Joe versus Daniel, myself versus Jess the Mess. Then the tag team match of Z and Smitty. Smit Z.
Also known as the Swirl.
I actually
Versus
make my pick sober.
Ramon and Mario. Romario. And then the intergender match. Nick the Dick taking on Dez the Adorable One. You guys thought I was going to go somewhere else, didn't you? Didn't you? Didn't you? Screwed you all.
I would have said not Les, but
Daniel, are you excited for this, man? Do you think that you got Joe's number?
You know what? I would love to talk some shit to him, but based on our current record, I'm just gonna ride this out and see
The
where it
fact
goes.
is a G1 supercard.
Also, Smitty, you will not be making your pick sober. That is not happening.
Damn. That's a heel turn for me.
I know Mario is listening, and I was watching this show. Mario, you and Ramon taking on Z and Smitty. What are your thoughts on this? And while I wait for that answer, Nick, do you think you got Dez?
Well, got a number so far. As long as she, picks 45 aerial moves in a couple of those matches again, I think she'll be good to go. So.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be 72.
Daniel's going to kick your ass if you keep trying to get his wife's number. I think you got something to worry about there.
Those intergender matches are something else.
This is our Joey Ryan right here.
It's our match for all the boobs. So, well, Mario hasn't responded, so fuck you, Mario. You're going to lose. Nah. Daniel, anything you want to tease for your upcoming stuff with Pro Wrestling Scorecards?
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Ah.
But Mania ends our what we're calling our season 3, and then we're starting on our new scorecards. We'll be doing AEW starting with Double or Nothing and every event they do from that point forward. And we're gonna try and do all the major New Japan and Ring of Honor this year, but it'll probably be some random ones, not necessarily all of them, but we'll do our best. And then there will be some news coming soon, but we're not quite ready to share on that
Can you
yet.
tease it about what it's regarding or no?
No.
All right.
I mean,
go ahead.
I will give you a hint. You will be helping us with this for this upcoming pay-per-view. So you'll get the inside in a few days here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you'll get the insight as soon as we're off the air, and I tell you what it is. All right. Yes, definitely, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to PW Scorecards, download your own scorecard for the Mania weekend. Again, they're doing NXT TakeOver. They're doing the G1 special at Madison Square Garden, the show put on between Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as the WrestleMania card. There's a lot of stuff going into this. Make sure you go to their Patreon, patreon.com/PW Scorecards. Even if it's just $1 a month, anything helps them with their time and their effort to put in to these scorecards. You can also buy merch from Pro Wrestling Scorecards. A couple t-shirts they have on ProWrestlingTees.com. It's ProWrestlingTees.com/PW Scorecards. Daniel, thank you so much for calling in, brother. We can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Later, brother. And again, you guys can get our merch at Pro Wrestling Tees. ProWrestlingTees.com/BDRCash. You can get a BDR shirt. You can get a Breaking Down the Ring shirt. You can get all kinds of stuff. Apparently, Z's laughing about something.
Just running through promos for our tag team in my head. Came up with something a little rated R, and it's kind of funny. But
I like it.
I don't want to. No, you won't.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're following us on all of our social media, Facebook.com/BDRcast, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at BDRcast. Got Nick running some of these, man, doing a damn good job, especially if you like the laugh. That's what.
Yeah, you are doing an amazing job, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You do our YouTube stuff as well, right?
No, that's me.
That's all him.
That is 100%. I edit all those fucking videos and put them all up. Again, hit us up on all of our social media. Thank you so much. For you guys listening live, subscribe to our podcast. Apple Podcasts, Overcast, wherever it is that you can get your podcast. Waiting to talk about Spotify hopefully soon. I don't know the specifics. I'm not sure, but I know I am going to talk to Dave about everything so we can get out to more people, because obviously more of the Android users are using Spotify. It just makes more sense to try and get out there instead of Google Podcasts. YouTube, BDRcast, Breaking Down the Ring. That's all you got to do. YouTube.com/Breaking Down the Ring. You can go find us right there. All of our live shows are there. You can get them if you are listening to the podcast. Definitely go to our Breaking Down the Ring YouTube. Subscribe, like all the videos, watch them all. We love you guys. We are your ring crew.
Z,
The Pessimist, Smitty.
And Nick.
And me, your ring crew champion once again, the almighty one. And we are out.
So I was thinking of
Hold on.